All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to pull back the curtain on something that's, well, it's usually wrapped up in a lot of mystery and, let's be real, a bit of stage magic, right? We're talking about the secret language of hypnosis. But here's the twist. It's not some kind of mystical power. It's actually a powerful form of communication that, well, you already use it every single day. So when I say hypnosis, what pops into your head? I'm guessing for a lot of us, it's that classic image, right? The swinging watch, some poor soul on stage clucking like a chicken. You know, the book that inspired this whole explainer, Trance-formations, it calls this out right from the start. It knows that word hypnosis, it gets a strong reaction. But here's the big question. What if that entire image we have is just completely off base? And this quote really gets to the heart of it. The whole idea is that this so-called magic isn't some gift you're born with. No, it's actually a set of communication patterns, specific procedures that you can understand and learn. And you can use them not just for doing hypnosis, but in your normal everyday conversations. So let's just clear the air on the biggest myth right away. Hypnosis isn't about mind control. It's not about making people do things they don't want to do. It's actually the total opposite. It's about helping someone tap into a natural state of really, really focused attention. To really get why, we need to kind of redefine a word that's at the center of all this, and that word is trance. So what even is a trance? Forget everything you think you know about some magical, otherworldly state. The book defines it way more simply. It's just an amplification of a normal experience. It's that moment when your attention gets super narrow, like a laser beam, and everything else just kind of fades into the background. And the thing is, you do this all the time. Seriously. Ever been driving a route you know by heart and you suddenly realized you're at your exit but have zero memory of the last few miles? Or what about being so completely lost in a movie that the real world just disappears? Those are all natural trance states. You're not asleep or anything. Your focus is just intensely limited. Okay, so if we're all on board that these trance states are totally normal, the next question becomes a really practical one. How do you actually talk to someone, connect with them, when their attention is that narrow? Do you try to, I don't know, snap your fingers and pull them out of it? Or is there a better, more elegant way to do it? This is where the real technique comes into play. Just look at this comparison. On one side, you have what shatters a connection, arguing with their reality. You know, telling someone, no, you don't actually feel that way. That just instantly creates resistance, right? Their brain has to stop and push back. But then look at the other side. The alternative is something called pacing, and it's all about meeting them exactly where they are. And this is that technique, pacing. It's pretty straightforward. It's the process of meeting someone inside their own reality by just noticing what's verifiably true for them in that moment, and then kind of reflecting it back. It's not about mind reading or guessing their deepest feelings. It's about seeing what's undeniably happening. And what's so brilliant is how subtle pacing can be. A lot of it isn't even about words. You can pace someone just by matching the rhythm of their breathing, or the speed of their blinking, or their posture. When you subtly mirror somebody like that, you're creating this really powerful, unconscious feeling of connection. They don't know why, but they just feel like you get them, that you're in sync. This all builds up to a really basic but effective structure. Pace, pace, lead. So you start by pacing their reality, saying things that are just impossible to argue with. You are sitting in that chair. Well, yeah, they are. And you can hear the sound of my voice. Also true. Once you've established that pattern, that yes, yes feeling, then you can gently introduce a new idea, the suggestion or the lead. The whole thing is so smooth, it just kind of bypasses any urge to resist. So you meet someone in their reality to build that trust. But what's the verbal glue that makes the jump from a pace to a lead actually work? Turns out it's just a few incredibly simple words. These are the so-called magic words, but they're not magical at all, are they? They're just conjunctions we use a million times a day, words like and, as, while. These words are the connectors. They literally build a bridge from one idea to the next. And that's their job here, to create a totally seamless link. They connect something that is happening, the pace, to something that could happen, the lead. By using these words, you make two totally separate ideas sound like one continuous logical thought. Let's just look at this example right from the book. You're standing on the beach, feeling the warmth. Okay, that's a pace. It's an experience. And you look back at the beach, another pace. As you take another stroke, and boom, there's the lead. See how the words and as just tie all those moments together? It makes the suggestion feel like it's just a natural part of the whole experience. And that's really the essence of it, isn't it? It's using these simple, everyday words to build a bridge from reality to possibility in a way that feels completely, utterly natural. So, as we start to wrap this up, let's bring it back to where we started, the magic of hypnosis. That ability to connect with and influence people, it isn't a secret power, it's a skill. It's just elegant, it's structured, and it's deeply observant communication. This quote is maybe the most important idea of all. The goal here is not to take control of people, it's the opposite. It's a way to give them back control by giving them feedback on what's happening within them, feedback they usually don't notice. You're basically helping them see their own resources.
And ultimately, that's what this is. It's a tool for growth, for self-help. It's about creating a special kind of context where people can find their own inner strengths, work through their own limitations, and make the changes that they want to make for themselves.
And that really brings us to the final big idea. When you strip it all away, it's not about swinging watches or stage tricks. The real magic, the real power, is found right there in the structure of our language and in our ability to truly, genuinely connect with another person's reality. So I'll just leave you with this one question. Now that you know this pattern, this pace, lead model, and you know the power of these little bridge words, where are you going to start noticing it? In an ad on TV, in a speech from a politician, or maybe, just maybe, in the very next conversation you have?